Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Lady K Chat, a podcast that is designed for men and women to become better versions of themselves, which is broadcast every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Various subjects will be spoken upon, such as relationships, health and wellness, personal development, wealth building, children, and so much more. She is a two-time Amazon best-selling author, an international speaker, and life coach. She is Lady K. And now for your host, Lady K.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lady K Chat podcast. You are here with your favorite host today, Miss Lady K, and we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but we're going to address it here because I always announce the elephant in the room. So today's topic is called harsh. Now, I know you're probably saying, Lady K, what do you mean by that? I'm going to get to that in the moment, but I would like everyone to help me welcome today's guest, Miss Shaneka Storey, who is a registered nurse and have her own business that is called Wonderfully Made Fit. Welcome, Shaneka. How are you?
Hi, how's everybody today? How are you?
I am good. Thank you for coming on with me today, Shaneka. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's good to be here.
Thank you. So, Shaneka, I know with the opening that I gave the people, I said the subject line was called harsh. Now, you and I both know, but they don't know. But I just want to, before I go into the exact what I'm talking about, I just want to put something into perspective for a lot of people. So I know in this season, a lot of people are taking their health very seriously, right? So we all know that there are multiple components of having a great lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, right? So a lot of the times we think about, oh, I eat right. That's great. And then I exercise too. So I'm exercising and I'm diet and I'm watching what I eating, and that's great. But I think what people mostly lack, they don't realize the harsh chemicals that they inhale on a daily basis. Now I know some of the things are out of our control, but we can definitely control what we bring into our household. So again, I think a lot of people don't get to grasp the concept that those harsh chemicals can affect your health. And I would like people to know that just think about it. And my cousin, she is one of the biggest freaks. She feels like if she can't smell the products, it's not clean. People don't realize that it can be very potent. Would you agree to that, Shaneka?
Absolutely. And if you're using different chemicals, especially things like bleach, and I
Right.
know a lot of us feel like it's not clean unless we can smell the bleach, and then we're mixing other things with the bleach and we're not in a properly ventilated space. I mean, if you read the labels on a lot of these products, they'll tell you you need to be in a space with proper ventilation and proper airflow. And oftentimes, if you're in a small corner bathroom, how much ventilation are you getting? So, absolutely. The cleaners that we use are toxic. They're being absorbed not only in our lungs when we smell, but also think about our touch. How many of us are
Right.
putting on gloves to use these products? We're not. We're used to using them all the time. And so they're being absorbed into our skin. So there's lots of different ways we're exposing ourselves and not even realizing it just because it's our everyday thing.
Right. And it's something that we're used to. And, for me growing up, and this is, I see like this as well too. Sometimes it's a generational thing because we are using the same products that we was raised on. So, in our mind, like I said before, it's like, okay, I changed some things about my life, but you got to think about other things that can cause, health issues down the lines. Because right now we say, oh, I'm healthy and I'm strong, but then later down the line, people be like, well, why is my asthma getting worse? Why is my allergy getting worse? And we don't think about these little things, but they do play a major role in our life. And you said something a lot of times when we're touching the products, it seeps into our skin. And I know I was doing some research, and it was saying that chemicals that can enter the body, it can irritate the nose, air passage, the lungs. This can become deposited in the airways or absorbed by the lungs into the bloodstream. That part, people don't realize how it can hit the bloodstream. And it's like, wow, when I read that, I was like, that even hit me a little bit different. So I think, with self-education, people can come around and start to change their products. But, I understand that it takes time. But, today, I just wanted to make sure that you and I just both give the audience, a thorough education. Now, Shaneka, I do have a question for you.
Sure.
When in your health journey did you have an epiphany? Oh my gosh, I need to stop using these harsh chemicals.
Just recently, actually, in the last year, well, I won't say that. Like, I actually made the big switch within the last few months, but I've
Okay.
always kind of known about it because I'm a nurse. And so, like, we learn about these things. Your skin is like the largest organ of your body, and we really don't often think about the function of it, how it absorbs things, it protects us from us, it's a part of our immunity. But I've always kind of gone back and forth with trying to use like more natural products. And then, you use them for a while, then maybe they don't fit into your budget anymore. So you go back to using whatever's on sale. As long as
Right.
it's keeping your house clean, you feel like that's the appropriate thing to use. But I have two little boys. And so, as you know, the pandemic rolled in for all of us, caught us unawares. But
Right.
I have a friend who introduced me to a company that has been around for 35 years. They use all green products. And so I started using them. One of the reasons was because of my kids. A lot of us start doing stuff because of our children. Like, we don't want them exposed to things. And I have boys. I wanted them to be able to, I'm trying to teach them more responsibility. So one of the things that I like doing least is cleaning their bathroom. So
Right.
I wanted them to be able to use products that are not harsh to them. And my oldest, he does, like, he would cough, he hates the smell of bleach, so whatever excuse our kids can use not to clean, that's what they're going to do. So I
Right.
started using a new line, and they like cleaning the toilet, they like doing those things, and they liked it before. For whatever reason, they always thought it was fun, but I was always leery of putting them in contact with products that can really affect them. They both have eczema. I don't want to do anything. We may not think about it for ourselves, but when it comes to our kids, we always will ramp it up a notch. So that's what really
Absolutely.
got me interested and made me really 100% switch over my household to, chemical free products.
You said a lot of key things that I reflect about my mom, and I got to give credit when credit is due because my mom, she's like, even though she has a high school education, she is so self-taught, and I'm proud of the transition that she made. So
Mm.
when we were younger, she was using these products, and then she started educating me, like you just said, with your boys, and she knew I had asthma, and she said, hey, we can use things, but just to take it up a notch, because you said something about a lot of people can't afford it, and a lot of people don't even realize that you can use some of the items that's already in your household, but you haven't put use to it because you didn't know that it can work. Like something simple as lemon, lemon sanitize. A lot of people don't know that they can use vinegar. They don't know they can use baking soda, so they have to get into that realm of let me educate myself. What else can I use? And a lot of people don't also know this too with essential oil, because essential oil is so potent. You don't need a lot. If you dilute it in the water, that's another reason, another thing that you can utilize to clean your household. Did you know those things, Shanika?
I did, and I do
Okay.
use, for me, for a while there, I was using like a lot of the vinegar, the water. If you use vinegar, water, lemon juice,
Right.
baking soda, like you said, those things are all very effective cleaners. They disinfect. You can also use vodka to help disinfect your home. It's a very effective disinfectant. But
Right.
then, you get into you got to mix all that stuff up, and you're trying to what the thing is. I
Right.
Pinterest. Pinterest is one of my best friends, and so there's a lot
Yes.
of good recommendations on Pinterest too for how to use natural things to clean your home. But a lot of people just don't realize that these things are good disinfectants, and because of what's going on right now, COVID, everybody wants to make sure that their homes are disinfected. Like, nobody wants to be, everybody has that concern. So I totally get it. But yeah, do your research, look it up, because things like vinegar is very cheap. You can get a huge thing of it over at BJ's or even the grocery store for like what, $2.
Right.
Get
$3.
and especially, you mentioned your children. If your kids have asthma, most of the national brand cleaners do affect kids or adults' asthma. It makes it flare. It irritates your lung, or what we call the mucous membrane. So like your nose, your mouth, your whole breathing system is irritated by that. And there was
Right.
actually a study done over a course of 20 years that showed that people who use everyday cleaning products, maybe even just like a couple times a week, have the same exposure as somebody who's smoking like cigarettes. It's an
Wow.
actual national study that I can share the link with you. Maybe you can post it for your listeners, where you can take a look
Absolutely.
at it, and it's showing you that the exposure of national brand products are having the same effect as cigarette smoking on folks' lungs. And you would
Wow.
think too that it would be maybe, think about a lot of, especially minorities are in the profession where they're maybe cleaning hospitals or they're cleaning other, the hotels. And so they're exposed even more, but
Right.
they really didn't show a big correlation difference between the two. It's like, even if you're cleaning a couple times a week at home, as compared to somebody that's cleaning for their profession,
Right.
it's still the same type of exposure. So we really need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of our triggers and what we're bringing into our home. And even like the products that you use to bathe with, or, women, personal care items that we use, we're putting
Right.
these things not only on our body, but in our bodies. And like you said, it is a directly absorbed into our bodies and our bloodstream. So we have to really take a look at some of the alternatives that are out there.
Right, exactly. And you hit it right on the nail. But again, I think most people, they don't think about that because, like I said, they get into that mind frame. Oh, I've been doing this for so long.
Mhm.
I'm healthy, and it's like you don't think about your later. We're so stuck in the now. So I'm reiterating to everybody because I want you guys to let this sink in. Do not think not me because a lot of people think that way. Not me. It can't happen to me. It can happen to you. It can happen to your kids and it can happen to your loved ones. And I know a lot of people are crazy about their pets, but even that too, like you just said, the people that you love, you just never know what can happen at any given point because of the harsh chemicals that we are using. Now, Shaneka, is there anything else that you can educate my audience about transitioning from harsh chemicals to natural products?
I would just say, like we've been talking about, you do your research, and even when you go to the grocery store, I was reading, doing a little research for this, about how a lot of the products we think are natural, or a lot of those brands. Let's take example Burt's Bees. It
Right.
was bought by a national. I think it was bought by like Clorox, I think, or Tom's of Maine. They've been bought by national brands, and so even when we go out and buy healthy foods and drinks, they've been bought by a lot of these big national brands. And so maybe the ingredients that they're using aren't the same. So, if you know of a company that has been doing it for a long time before it was popular, that's something to research. Or, like you said, just going out and trying to mix, do your own thing with the lemon juice, the vinegar, the water, and and even vodka. You can buy cheap vodka. It doesn't have to be, anything expensive. Go get a
Right.
cheap bottle
Right. Right. Right.
and mix it.
$5 for the vodka.
Yeah, not the kind that you want to drink, but just something
Right.
that's cheap. So because it's a really good disinfectant, and those are like little tips that people don't know. Pinterest is a wealth of information about
Right.
how to clean.
Pinterest is my best friend.
Me too.
Okay.
Like I do all my recipes from there. So like there's just a wealth of information out there, and don't be afraid to take your time. I know too, one of the things, if you have a significant other in your home, like my husband, when I would try to bring in, like when I tried to mix it myself, he just, that doesn't work. I don't even know. So don't be discouraged by that either. Eventually, people will move over if you just decide to do it, in your home. So don't be discouraged if you have some naysayers, because anything that's a change, oftentimes people don't accept it, but just, be diligent with it. And especially if you have asthma, things like that, that's going to trigger you, it's really, really important. And even if you don't, because it can lead to asthma, it can lead to
Right.
lung cancer, it
Right.
can lead to other types of health concerns that, we, especially the African American community, already have different ailments and comorbidities that make us more susceptible to things. And so you don't want to add to that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you can do something to prevent, that's always what you want to do.
Absolutely. And I'm going to piggyback off two things you said. So as far as you saying, if if you're not an asthma or you don't have lung disease, that can change. And again, going back to my mother, she's a primary example. When she was younger, she didn't have no health issues. And when she got older, all of a sudden she has asthma. She's like, where did I get this asthma from?
Mhm.
And then just to highlight that most women, we do majority of the shopping in our household. So, a lot of time the change starts with us because that's where the change came from. It started with my mom. And that's one of the reasons why I'm on the pescatarian diet today, because many years ago, she introduced the vegan diet. And that was great because that was just for eating. But then when she upgraded and educated herself even more, she said, no, the household products got to change as well. So again, I just want to reiterate to people, come out that mindset, not me. It's not going to happen to me, not my family. There's a probability you can't. Like I said, you can't control everything. But once you become educated, what I'm saying, you're not going to stay ignorant. You want to do something that's going to actually elevate and help your family and your loved ones. Now, Shaneka, I know that you also have access to natural products, correct? Can you tell my audience a little bit about your company that you're with and that the products that you have?
Yeah, I do education and enrollment for a company that's been around for 35 years, and we have over 450 products that the company has, and it's all household cleaning products as well as makeup and just nutritional products. So if weight loss is something that you're looking for, vitamins is something that you're looking for, household cleaning products is something, as well as laundry detergent, just a list, whatever
Oh,
you need for your
nice.
home. We have it. My link, I'll give you my link, Lady K, and let you post that to give you more information about all of the products. One of my favorite ones is called Solumel. It is a disinfectant. It's the same as, your disinfectants, your Lysol sprays, but we use citric acid and thyme oil to,
Right.
that's what the company uses to disinfect. So you're not using those harsh chemicals. There's also one called Magic that I really like that helps to dissolve oils. And so, like, all the harsh, heavy duty cleaning that you need to do. One of my favorite things about the products is that they're cross functional. So they do provide like a book that actually tells you all the things that the different products can do throughout your home. You can use them in your garden to get rid of
Hmm.
ants and bees and things like that, but it's not harmful to you. And you mentioned your pets. I know, our fur babies are just as important to us, and so we don't want to be putting toxic chemicals on our lawns and other things. So, we just want to make sure that we're using products. But I'll give you the link to my site and the information so you can have more information for your listeners.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just want to piggyback real quick before we leave on something you said. I know we talked a lot about the household products, but yes, it dawned on me also too, the laundry products, and I want people to also get in the habit, not just the laundry products, not just the household products, and not just the food, but I want people to get into the habit of looking at the back of the labels. And when you see those words like chromium, sodium, you need to get into the habit of looking them up because you'd be like, what is that long word? You don't even know what you're using. You'd be like, okay, I just trust it because it's this brand and we've been doing this brand for 20, 30, 40 years. And yes, when it is a trusted brand, we feel like, oh yeah, I trust their product. But I'm just saying, for your own research and for your own knowledge, Google some of those long names because those chemical names, they just stay the same, but they change it. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't realize that.
And even just the when you think about like the company that I'm partnering with, we use a much smaller bottle and we use very concentrated. So you're able to
Right.
dilute out, like you mentioned, diluting and using water. So they provide the concentrate. You dilute it out according to how the concentration that you want to use. But then you're also reducing plastic use. So like,
Right.
that's huge for the environment. And, for the last few years, we know that the environment hasn't been as protected by our government as it was before. And now hopefully
Right.
we're moving back, but it's all of our responsibilities to do that, to keep the plastic out of the oceans, and to preserve
Absolutely.
our planet for the next generation. We don't want to leave them with a mess. So those are other things to think about as well. The lotions that you use on your body,
Right.
toothpaste. I mean, all of it. It's just so all encompassing. But I tell people, because I do fitness as well, you always start with little steps. Don't try to overwhelm yourself. Even when it comes to this, start small and then move out and, start with something like the things that are most toxic to you, that are really causing you to cough. I think if everybody took a good moment and really started to think about every time you spray that spray in your bathroom, do you have to run out of it? And if you have to do that, then there's something that should be a trigger in your mind. So like when you decide, I don't, I hear what they're saying, but whatever, I'm gonna keep on using what I'm using.
Right.
I want the next time you spray the tub and towel cleaner in your bathroom, if you have to hold your breath and run out so that you don't choke to death, think about that.
Right. And I'm gonna end on this because I know there are some people in our community watch it, and I see this meme goes a lot around on Facebook all the time. So people always say, "How long do people leave comment in the tub?" And they be like, "Oh no, till our ancestors come back." And I have to tell people, stop leaving those products and the service is too long. It doesn't need that. It does not require that. But again, I understand that's a generational curse that we definitely have to break, and we have to get used to cleaning it immediately and to stop leaving it there, especially when we feel like, oh, the stains is hard to get out, so I gotta leave it there a little bit longer. But like you just said, Shaneka, your company has a product that can help get tough stains out. So I definitely encourage everyone to take a look at her products. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Shaneka, I thank you for being here with me so we can educate the audience together. Everyone, you can continue to follow me at the Lady K Chat Podcast here on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can also visit our website at www.ladykenterprisesinc.com. I'm going to spell it for you one more time. www.ladykay, and K is spelled Kay, enterprisesinc.com. And everyone, you have a great night.
Good night.
Lady K.